Team Super Awesome Art, and today I thought I'd do a video just on sealants. I made a video that is describing everything that we use in making our customs, but this part I think is really important because paints, clays, primers, and sealants do react to one another. So it can result in, if they're not compatible, it can result in them being very sticky or tacky. So it's really important that you kind of understand the way that I do it with the items that I use. So with the clays, the paints, and primers that I use, these are the sealants I use. And I use two different types for two different reasons. When I use clay, I use the brush on Americana sealant, and then when I don't have any clay, it's just paint on vinyl, I use the crystal clear enamel. Now, not every time is everything going to react to one another in a negative way, but sometimes it does. Depending on, it could be clay to paint, there might be a problem. It could be clay to sealant, paint to sealant, it could be any of these things. It could even be primer sometimes. So this is what I use, this is how I use it. Let's talk about if we're only doing painting. So if we're only going to paint a vinyl. Now I use this on my vinyl figures, so anything like the custom Funko Pops and the Infinity characters or the Amiibos. I use the crystal clear Rust-Oleum enamel. Okay, so what it looks like when I do my customs is, let's say when I did this little BB-8 here. Okay, so it's a custom vinyl figure, Funko Pop figure. I used this Rust-Oleum primer. It comes in gray and black, and there's the label right there. Then I used the Liquitex paint, and I think this is, what is it? It's professional acrylic paint. And then I used the Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel sealant. Now, this works for me. I've never had a problem with my vinyls or customs being sticky. They come out super shiny and they're very pretty. The downside to this is it is shiny, so if you don't want a shiny finish, there are a lot of other out there, and I do know that they make them in matte, but I do like shiny look on mine, so this is what I go with. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about if we're using clay. So when we use any clay products on our vinyls, we use a brush-on sealant. The reason I use this is because I've never had a problem with it getting sticky or tacky. So I've always stuck to this one, and I do love to brush on my sealant. The reason I like that is because I can do it at the table. I don't have to go outside for this process, and I don't have to worry about any reactions. I know that this works. The downside to this is it's a little tricky to get a really smooth finish putting it on with a brush. So it does take a little bit of practice, so please remember that. So when I do use clay, like when I made this guy, it's a little New 52 Joker. When I made him, I started off with a Funko Pop vinyl. Then I used Super Sculpey clay, and it's a baking clay. Then once it's baked, we went ahead and primed it with the Rust-Oleum primer, and this comes in black and gray. It doesn't matter which one you use, it's kind of personal preference on what you want to paint on. If you want to do paint over black or paint over gray. Again, personal preference, I do both. Then once he is primed, we go ahead and use the Liquitex paint, and this is also professional acrylic paint to make this guy. So once that is dry, the paint is dry, we go ahead and seal him with the Americana sealant. Now, this comes in 3 versions, I believe. It comes in satin, gloss, and matte. Again, personal preference. There it is, guys. I really wanted to clear that up because it really stinks to work on a custom and then have a reaction. So I really wanted to make sure that you guys really understood what we used where. Not always does this react to clay. As far as spray-on sealants, there are a lot of different brands. A lot of artists do use a lot of different things, so definitely check out other YouTube channels. There are a lot a lot of great tips out there, so go check those out. Make sure you do your research. Also guys, let me go ahead and explain the figures that we have here and the different mediums that we use each sealant on. So the crystal clear enamel spray on, we use it on our Infinity characters and our amiibos as well. Also on any custom Funko Pop that we do that doesn't have any clay, we use this. This is a little BB-8 that I did. I did a repaint on this one. And then also we use it on our custom 3D printed figures, which is really neat. This one was drawn by Hutch, digitally drawn, and then he printed it out in our 3D printer. This is actually done in 7 pieces, I believe, so the hat, head, body, arms, and the little hat box Olaf head there is all 3D printed separately, and then we put them together. Like I said, Hutch did the sculpting, digital sculpting on the computer for this one. He printed it out, and then I painted this one, and then of course he was sealed with our spray-on sealant there. And again, none of these have clay on them. This little guy was sealed, of course, with our brush-on sealant because I did use clay on this figure. It's a New 52 Joker in a straitjacket. I will be posting a full video of me actually sculpting a bit of this and painting him soon. So subscribe so you don't miss that. He's a really, really cool figure, and I think I got a lot of it on videos, so you guys can watch me actually make him. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. I really wanted to clear that up on my last video because I know I only touched a little bit on the sealant subject, so I really just want to get this video out to you guys. So if you do have had any questions on any of that, this will hopefully clear it up for you guys. If this was helpful, hit the like button. If you have any questions on this, of course, comment below and I'll be more than happy to try and answer your questions for you. And as always guys, subscribe to see more cool stuff from us in the future. Thank you so much for watching.